Coming up, we're going to program our first supply chain using Solidity. Before starting to build our smart contract, it's important to understand exactly what it is we're trying to build. In this video, we're going to do exactly that. First, I'll lay out the scenario we'll be working on. Then, we'll define the goals of our smart contract. From there, we'll lay out the major components needed to make this all work. To get started, I decided it would be helpful to build a supply chain from the ground up using the simplest of all companies, a lemonade stand. The idea is that by using something simple like a lemonade stand, we'll have an easier time focusing on the details of what we're trying to code, rather than also trying to wrestle with the difficulties of a more complicated example. Once you've been through the process one time, it'll be easier to create effective solutions to new challenges in creative ways. From there, you'll work to program larger supply chains that add real value across companies and industries. But for now, we'll start small. So here's the goal. You're selling lemonade in your local neighborhood, and you're ready to take everything to the next level. You want to be able to track the sales of lemonade to your customers so that you can be confident in the transparency of your company. At a quick glance, here's an overview of the layout of the goals for the smart contract. To make some sense of this, let's walk through each of the pieces in more detail. At this point, it's up to us to choose what we want to track. Using the blockchain, you can choose to track as many details as you'd like through the process, but here's a few examples. You can track whether or not an item is for sale, if it's been sold, or if it's been shipped, or if it's been received. You can also track specific details of the lemonade, like its price, who bought it, who sold it, and its SKU code. The SKU is short for stock keeping unit, which is the way stores track the items they sell. For our example, I've chosen to track just a few of these options and add some helpful functionality to our DApp. I want to be able to add items to the list of available items, put them up for sale, and allow users to buy these items. I'd also like to be able to get the details of any item that's being tracked on the blockchain. Knowing this, we can use these as functions for our smart contract: add item, buy item, and fetch item. On top of the actual functions, we'll also need to maintain the state of the object within the blockchain. For this contract, we'll just need to know when the item is up for sale and when it's sold. Other things you might want to track are if it's been shipped, received, or any other state, but this is enough for now. You can also decide what information we'll need to track for the items we sell. To start, it's helpful to track the name, SKU, price, state, seller, and buyer of these items. Finally, there's just one more detail to consider. This is pretty small in terms of code, but important to understand. When using smart contracts, every item needs to be assigned a SKU that helps track the item as it progresses through the supply chain. In many cases, creating the SKU will be handled using a completely different system that generates this unique ID for you. In our case, we'll have the smart contract generate a simple version of this SKU, and we'll need to map each item to this SKU. Finally, we need to make sure we assign contract owners and customers, and determine which functions can be accessed through each of them. Alright, so we didn't get to coding it yet. We'll be doing that in the next section. Hopefully this helped lay out the goals so that you're more familiar with the direction we're heading throughout the project.